this? Who
give
you
it back to
calling,
me.
baby?
Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it.
Welcome back, Summoners, to the GPL Spring Split 2015. It is Flavors and Wolf already starting off Group D. Their first time ever we're seeing Group D play with a rather long game, 42 minutes. It was, of course, ISG Legends that pull off the win against the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that one happen really quickly. I mean, by the 20th minute mark, it was ISG Legends just trying to push on in against a Ziggs team, and that really hampered them quite a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they just continue kind of diving and, you know, allowing them to get those team fights, but they were a little too low on HP, had to back off, and that kind of dragged on all the way to about 40 minutes. They closed out the game eventually, but like I said, team composition-wise for KLH, no damage at all coming out from them, outside of Azuraveki as well as Jaeyoung.
And I think as we wait for more of the bands to come through, we can talk a little bit about definitely some of the deficiencies in the IGL play we noticed, because we credited them for having very timely aggression. You know, they went topside, focused that, got a lot of the objective control there, and then they dove when they knew some of the major cooldowns were down. But while it's timely aggression, the execution itself tends to be a little bit sloppy.
Yeah.
And it's often only KLH's mistakes that actually allow the team fight to go in the favor of IGL. And of course, the composition itself. When you take out the Vayne, yeah, you win.
When we looked at the last few moments of those team fights,
Yeah.
some of them were spectacularly layered upon layer. And that is when the moments, you know,
I'd say
ISG
that's the
Legends,
confidence you have when your coffers are full of
it is
many more items.
Outside of that, I mean, it takes a certain kind of team. Maybe they had to warm up a little bit. We did hear some screaming, some of them screaming at each other.
A bit too much screaming, I'd say.
So we have to see. So the same bands actually coming out, but the Morgana one coming out from Kuala Lumpur Hunters a little different here.
And the Jarvan will be first picked by them. So they
Hallelujah,
definitely...
Rek'Sai is unavailable for you to use. Please don't pick that champion. Kalista, however, is available.
That's right. So, nice to see Rek'Sai's splash art, though. I actually haven't seen that for myself.
Okay.
As it is, getting back to the game itself on what can be picked, the Jarvan pickup for them is very, shows, of course, that they don't want to deal with that kind of engage. We saw many a times it was Hallelujah's Jarvan saying, alright, I'm going to EQ in, I'm going to flag drag in. If not Flash Cataclysm, then, you know, Flag Dragon. Basically, starting off so many of those fights from IGL. I think it's the right thing to take it away.
The Lucian and the Lee Sin coming in. I like this pick coming in from the ISG Legends squad. And they have, once again, Valkyries, one of his favorite champions, actually, come in for this one. Of course, Corki is available, but due to the 421 nerfs, maybe some players would prefer to pick up either the Lucian, maybe even the Graves coming in. However, it is going to be the Lucian Lee Sin. Will Kuala Lumpur Hunters opt for the Nar-Jarvan combination? The Narvan combination rolls off your tongue quite well, so we're going to stick with the Narvan.
Warming up to the Narvan combo. Leona, of course, works fantastically on her own, and even with the crowd control that Jarvan supplies, really, it just fits so nicely, the Eclipse with the Cataclysm. You have to flash out of it if you haven't already. So that is going to be the pickup for them. Interesting, very quick pickup of Fizz here. Now that is a lot of confidence. Blind picking Fizz right here. Looks like IGL is hovering over LeBlanc. So it could be a very ready response coming out from them. But I'm just surprised that this Fizz was blind picked. Seems like, well, at least so far as we can see, Wolf, KLH not too phased by their first loss.
Not at all. I don't really fancy the Fizz pick here coming out from Azuraveki. a bunch of champions actually deal with this very well in lane. I personally like, those RE plays, especially in, there we go, the RE hover as well. I mean, you can wait for the playful Trickster to wear off, even the LeBlanc, you can wait for that to wear off. Land the Charm or the Ethereal Chains and just combo up the Fizz and serve him on a little sashimi platter, of course.
That's right, and it is... I've seen it in solo queue as well when people just pick like champions that love to be in close range or even have to work hard to bring champions closer to them to like kind of troll pick the Fizz. I've seen Darius, we talked a little bit about him yesterday. Darius in the mid lane against Fizz, and he would just basically go like for early null magic mantles because that's like a cheaper path to really cheap MR now in the game. And then you just deal with the Fizz because he can't jump in. If he jumps in, then he just bleeds, and then you pull him back in when he disengages, even with the hop, because that range is something you can match. Really, really troll, and that's more like solo queue. Looks like full 5-on-5. IGL will be going with the LeBlanc pickup, which you covered how exactly that matchup will go, so we won't touch on that all too much. This Caitlyn pickup, though, very, very interesting. Jaeyoung not deciding to go onto that vein, and I do have to worry a little bit for him. Don't want to say he plays on tilt, but I want to see how aggressive he gets on this Caitlyn, because if his plan in the past game was just to farm passively on Vayne, as Vayne would like to do.
And we got the Narvan combo as well.
Narvan combo coming in.
It's an all-in. It's a all-in composition coming from the Kuala Lumpur Hunters with Jaeyoung just left to fend for himself, basically.
Yeah, wouldn't you think that the Ezreal pick would be more suitable? I mean,
it would be. I also would prefer picks such as, you might want to go for someone that can help with that all-in combo, such as a Graves. Maybe even the Jinx for the hyper carry in the late game as well. Jinx is still a very strong champion, hasn't been touched quite a bit lately. IG Legends here have only their top lane to decide for, so they're going to go up against the Gnar. What will we see LI4 actually pick here?
And on the side of IGL, I do think that they need to pick up some form of engage. We've seen many a composition falter when it's just Lee Sin as the only form of engage. Of course, when you're talking about an all-in composition you're facing, maybe that's not on the top of your mind.
Here, interesting.
So it's going to be Kassadin top.
This is a pick composition coming from ISG Legends. I would personally have preferred an Irelia in the top lane, or maybe even the Jace coming in as well, because Jace deals with Gnar quite well in the top and can provide a heavy amount of siege coming in as well.
That's right, and it is interesting then how exactly IGL has put their composition together, because you call it a pick composition. And again, something else that is really lacking for them is the ability to engage very well. I mean, sure, Kassadin can jump in with his slows, LeBlanc with her, ethereal chains to get things rolling, but it really isn't something as impactful, say, as the Narvan combo, Leona Eclipse. They've even got Janna now. The very early, well, not all too early, the second rotation pickup of Janna does point to me that perhaps they're looking more for skirmishing and
they
then
want
rotating
to skirmish,
around the map.
They want to rotate. They got high mobility champions. They know that they can disengage from this Narvan all into the Chum the Waters, Solar Flare kind of thing. We will see how IG Legends can pull it off though, because like I said, it's really one-dimensional, the Kuala Lumpur Hunters team comp. If they can get a flank, maybe they can add another layer of layer of tactics onto it. But IG Legends here really threading on thin ice here, because what we have for them is a team composition that does not have a lot of durability, but a lot of mobility on their hands. And you talk about siege potential. The reason why I prefer the Jace or the Irelia over the Kassadin is because Irelia as well as Jace provides a lot of disengage for the entire team. In addition to that, Irelia, or let's talk about Jace a little bit, provides a lot more siege potential in order for them. You want to be mobile, yes, but Lucian is not one of those AD carries that can really siege down turrets extremely quickly. Neither is LeBlanc or Lee Sin, one of those champions, not a split push threat either. We will have to see how IG Legends kind of juggle this mobility and this skirmishing comp, as you call it.
It's a really interesting composition, because on its own, you look at it and you're like, oh man, everybody is so mobile, and they're like, they can really beat me in a skirmish. Like, if you look at this lineup on like solo queue, you'd be like, this game is gonna be hell. But we look at the composition on the side of KLH, and 5-on-5, there's some very clear, strong options for them right here. The amount of wave clear is really lacking on the side of IGL. They picked the Caitlyn as well, so if Jaeyoung, once again, as the team captain, savvies up to this fact that IGL is really lacking wave clear, they could form their own siege of their own, or just group up and say...
It's going to be a really simple siege. I mean, we talk about how IG Legends can actually outplay their opponents. We saw the Kings of the Lanes not do very well in the lane itself.
Yeah.
Even opting to swap it out. Jaeyoung did had his little moment against Valkyrie in the bottom lane. But nevertheless, let's kind of show and talk about, you know, how KLH can have those win conditions in this game. We talk about the team fights that they want to pick. We want them to go for the objective controls, not just at the tower area, but also in the Dragon Pit. They should have really good control of the Dragon Pit area, and when they go for those extended sieges at the later levels, Caitlyn is one of the best champions to siege, and then if they decide to put their pedal to the metal, they can just go all in, destroy ISG Legends, and take a few objectives once they win those team fights.
Indeed. I mean, the only disengage coming out from IGL this time is the Monsoon. It's like a panic button almost, you have to say, because when you've got all these things flying towards you, Fizz, Jarvan, Gnar, and Leona, I mean, that Monsoon will only give you about 1 or 2 seconds of respite, and then the chase is pretty much on. And if you're using your chase to run away, well, that's not going to lead to the shiny blue victory screen.
It is not.
It's going to maybe lead to you living a bit more before the, you know, dark red defeat screen comes on, but not the victory screen. So I do think the win conditions, as you were discussing, Wolf, more clear-cut on the side of KLH. And I do feel that IGL will have to be very, very creative to not, or to break apart, really, this composition that is looking very strong coming out from
definitely.
KLH.
And while we're on the topic about win conditions, let's take a look at the IG Legends team composition. We have the Kassadin, the Lee Sin, also in the mid lane, of course, the LeBlanc, and in the bottom lane duo, it is going to be the Janna and the Lucian. And we look at the win conditions here. Honestly, the mid-game power spike is actually in the favor of Kuala Lumpur Hunters, so I'm not entirely sure how well they're going to fare in the mid stages of this game. In addition to that, I see nice little cool stuff here. We are on Summoner's Rift.
Oh yeah, 6v6, man. That is, if we are on separate sides.
Yeah.
Or we could
I prefer to be the hand of God and just reach up for a champion and just pull them into my grasp as well.
Can't. My arm's too short.
We need our OB to help us actually.
Can't do that.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We're gonna chase one of them. Okay, now we fade off screen.
Dang it. I was really looking forward to playing this game, Wolf.
Yeah, I was too.
I mean, it's like,
you know, it's like Poro, Legend of the Poro King. We throw our Poro plushies and all that stuff.
Yeah. I heard that the next visual update coming to Summoner's Rift, you actually get to like be
2 new summoner spells actually coming in.
Wow, I was just trolling, but never mind. In any case, Wolf knows, guys. Wolf knows these things. In any case, let's run through the lineup since we have entered the game itself. Just as Moon gets spot out. On the blue side, KLH, it will be 13 Ghosts on Gnar on the top side. Moon in the jungle on his Jarvan. Azoroveki in the mid as Fizz. And Jaeyoung and Caspiel in the bottom as Caitlyn and Leona respectively.
Yeah, for the side of ISG Legends here, Rune taking a few auto attacks out. Caspiel, the distortion.
Whoa there.
Going back in as well. On the side of IG Legends, of course, LY4 in the top lane playing the Kassadin. Hallelujah in the jungle on the Lee Sin. Rune playing LeBlanc in the mid lane, and Valkyrie and Rapier in the dual bottom here with the Lucian and the Janna. Let's go back to the win conditions of IG Legends. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out because I don't really know what they can do here. They need to establish vision control, and they need to use their mobility on those champions to get some picks in the early game. Maybe establish some counter jungling control, because dueling in the jungle with a Lee Sin and a high mobility champion such as LeBlanc and then Kassadin once he reaches level 6 can spell quite some trouble for Moon. And then once they establish some vision, oh wow, what is this from Valkyrie and Rapier? Are they trying to go for this?
Yeah, they need to decide whether they want to go for it, like fight them on it or just get the CS in lane. This is a nice delay coming up from Rapier, but there you go. Valkyrie heads over to lane. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, it's a good delay. It is a good delay coming in from Rapier, and now we will see Valkyrie take some experience. But like I said, there we see the early ganks coming in right here. The Tempest will not land though. Trying to land the Tempest Cripple, could not do so. However, we did see the flash come out from 13 Ghosts. The Gnar lane very susceptible to the early level ganks.
That's right. Nice timing to get the flash out.
How did Hallelujah took the Krug to hit level 2. Okay, I was just wondering, where did he hit level 2 from?
Very interesting to see where Harley will go after his red. If he decides to go top again, I think that would be a nice choice. Some damage coming onto Azoroveki's Fizz right there. Again, was blind picked, so Rune should be feeling very confident having the counter pick in his favor. Now, again, talking about the win conditions of IGL, I do think that one thing that is absolutely going in their favor is Harley's experience on the Lee Sin. This is a champion he's played time and time again. He loves it through and through.
He's one of the first few people to do the wall jump kick as well. I mean,
On the server, yeah.
Yeah, on the server.
Yes, indeed. And just talking about, again, his expertise on this champion, it will be what the laners, especially LY4 on his Kassadin, looking to ramp up a little bit, will be looking for that kind of support. And hey, he already got it at level 2. He'll be feeling much safer knowing that an all-in from Moon and 13 Ghosts will not be accompanied with the likes of Nar flashing after him. I dare say that's enough to get him to 6 safely.
It is.
Ooh, nice dodge on the Ethereal Chains right there. And
going back into
Oh,
Urchin
man.
Strike as well. That was just Rune.
That was Rune being rude, man.
Yeah,
Should change his name right there.
rude. And
And
let's take a look at the item pickups as well coming from the junglers. We will see the Poacher's Knife, sorry, not the Poacher's Knife, the Stalker's Blade being picked up here by Hallelujah, whereas the Ranger's Trailblazer is the weapon of choice for Moon.
Alright, so I do think that Harley has it in his mind as well.
He wants to go for the ganks.
Wants those ganks, really wants the lanes to get going.
I mean, Lee Sin is just one of those champions that, remember back in the day where Lee Sin could start the Doran's Blade start?
Oh, I love that.
That's a great start on a Lee Sin,
Yeah.
going with the dueling potential.
Because you could do everything. Yeah, exactly. The dueling was basically added to your strengths when you
Yeah.
picked up the Doran's Blade. Because it's like, I'm only a great jungler and a ganker, but hey,
Let's
Doran's
get more
Blade,
damage.
Yeah, allows me to skirmish and duel. Look at this, both junglers.
Sensing each other.
Jungler sense is strong in both of these
Yeah,
ones.
the force is strong.
Oh, he's used his Ian.
Yeah,
That
there
could
we
spell
go.
trouble.
And there we see the Howling Gale being used, and Hallelujah jumping right in onto this one. Caspiel actually jumping back in. Valkyrie, will you get a flash out? The Howling Gale, as not the Eye of the Storm, sorry. The Eye of the Storm actually getting in onto this. Hallelujah with the Tempest and the Cripple. We will see LY4 jump back in onto Jae Young. However, Hallelujah gets taken down here. Jae Young will get traded back and forth. Both the junglers and the AD carries getting taken down in the bottom lane now. Gonna trade 2 for 2. First blood, however, going to the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Hence, that 400 gold lead.
Definitely a strange series of events right there, but I think one thing we can say is that KLH definitely read that like a book. Nobody eased in with the support missing from lane like that. They knew something was up. When the Relentless Pursuit was used so aggressively, Jaeyoung wasn't even low right there, and I think they correctly called it, saying the jungler must be around. He's been missing for a very long time after his first sighting at the top. I think KLH played it out rather well, but one thing that surprised me, Wolf, was that the teleports came rather late from both teams, and I think that really made it seem, or it actually swung it in IGL's favor when those teleports weren't quite synced up. Because yeah, TP's just something that, again, I mentioned this and I want to spend a little more time on it because we've seen LY4 be really on top of those teleports, but in the previous game and in this one starting off, doesn't quite seem like it so far.
Okay, so here's my whole concern with the teleports here, especially from KLH and IG Legends. I mean, neither one of the top laners want to give up that teleport advantage, and if either LY4 or 13 Eagles decides to teleport first, join the fight, the other can really hammer down the turret very quickly, gain that level 6, and once the level 6 advantage comes in, it's going to be huge the next teleport game.
Oh man. Oh, Rapier still has his flash, thankfully.
Yeah, Rapier may not even need to use it though.
Oh, nicely done.
He has his red buff slow as well.
Working with the 6-man, that 6-man being vision. There's absolutely no vision on the side of KOH to know whether or not the jungler is around. And hey, guess what? Actually, he is around. There you go. 3-man now onto Moon. But he manages to just flag and drag his way out of that. I have been impressed, Wolf, with Moon's discipline. He hasn't really gone all too crazy on his ganks.
Unlike a certain ex-jungler of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Yeah, I think that's working out nicely
And
for them.
there we see the level
Uh-oh.
6 here coming in from Nara. Like I said, very strong level 6 coming in from Nara. It's really difficult for Kassadin to even deal with the Nara. Or deal with the Nara. That's why I kind of talk about... Oh, but in the mid lane though, they managed to land that resonating strike combination. They pass off the kill onto Rune. However, the Ignite's going to take down, allowing Azura Veki to get the counter kill back in the lane. Assist goal, however, in favor of ISG Legends. But talk about the top lane battle.
Yes.
The moment 13 Ghost turns into the Mega Gnar is going to be a horrendous time for LY4.
Indeed.
That's why I prefer the Jace pick. You can knock the Mega Gnar away. You can just use some safe farming from the Shock Blast, Acceleration Gate combo. Just a lot of options for you to use.
And something else we must take note of as well, as we have some action in the bottom lane, don't think there will be any kills just yet, is that when 13 Ghost was being very aggressive onto LY4 and almost got him, burned his ultimate as well, but his flash was still down from that level 2 gank. It came up just about 5 seconds after that burst of aggression. So, hey, you might not be able to tell right off the bat, but definitely Hallelujah's early gank paid off dividends right there. CS differentials definitely coming in and growing now for KLH in both the top and bottom side. Rune right here did get a little bit greedy with that kill actually. With Harley's help, he didn't actually need to die. It was a trade 1-for-1.
Oh, they're trying
So
to go
not
back
all too
in
good.
onto this one as well. A little bit of a siesta now in Summoner's Rift. Both teams just kind of farming it up. Oh, actually, LY Rune here getting the second proc of the Ethereal Chains, landing it, dealing a little bit of damage as well. Moon coming in, tries to get a dive onto LY4, but great wards by the Cassidy player in the top, allowing him to spot out that gank, of course. And there we see the counter gank. The Thorough Chase is going to land, and the Chum the Waters happening onto Hallelujah. That kickback was unsuccessful, of course. Could have seen a little bit cleaner execution coming out from Hallelujah. Did not have the ward to jump to, so he is going to kind of just force Zoroveki out of lane.
Ooh,
And
Jaeyoung.
then make a counter jungling attempt right here.
Jaeyoung getting very low in this lane. Still has his barrier, so that won't be too much of an issue. But definitely we do see, of course, that the jungle presence this game much more.
Yeah, Jaeyoung is taken out
man,
so
Jaeyoung
low
way too low.
already.
Yeah, and the jungle presence I wanted to say before the action all breaks out, much more matched this game. We can see both Lee Sin and Jarvan clashing multiple times in bottom, in mid. Really seems that after the first game, both teams have said, alright, we kind of know what you're up to, we know what your plan is. Well, I mean, for KLH, they might be wondering, what is this team composition all about, other than dancing around Summoner's Rift?
So am I. So am I.
So are we indeed, Wolf, and we'll have to see, because as it is, 3-3, still a very even game, only about a 300 goal lead at this point in time. KLH on their end have mobile members too, we shouldn't forget that. Fizz extremely mobile, Jarvan,
the Gnar, and the Caitlyn as well, the 90 caliber net.
Leona's the only one that's looking at us and going like, mobility? What's that? She goes
I've
in,
got armor.
she goes in and stays in the fight. That's
Who
right.
needs mobility?
The mobility Leona enjoys is rolling over the dead bodies of her opponents. But I do have to say, Jaeyoung, for his pick of the Caitlyn, haven't really shifted into heavy gear in terms of really like pushing to tower a lot. It's been a lot of last hitting, very safe play perhaps after the first few bouts of aggression. And in fact, Lucian has managed to hold his own, you know, against Caitlyn as a lane bully. And people often argue, if you don't outright win the lane as Caitlyn, well, a lot of your strength or your power level just isn't quite as high as the game proceeds.
Oh, the reason in that is because no matter what items Caitlyn gets, her mid-game power does take a dip a little bit. However, she becomes a late-game monster, so that's one of the reasons why people pick the Caitlyn for the siege as well. So
it's just interesting though that the tempo, I mean, I rightly agree with that, just the tempo of the game so far doesn't quite seem to be that KLH are respecting the Cassidy all too much. There's not even been a gank up there before he's sick. Hallelujah just very calmly juking out of that.
Sidestepping this one. Moon's gonna go down onto this with the Ethereal Chains as well as the proc on the Mimic here as well.
And I am just a little bit confused by all this mid lane focus. LeBlanc and Fizz are both very difficult champions to gank. Jarvan, I think by all means should have gone top. Get that Cassidy at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Control him a bit more.
I agree, and LY4 is one of those players that you can put him on tilt at times. And I completely agree with you. I like Hallelujah's focus on the mid lane though, because Rune has been putting a number down onto Azura Veki and landing those skills as well.
Alright, so that was actually a flash.
Teleport coming in.
Solar Eclipse coming in. Ooh, Dragon not yet stolen. Not stolen at all.
Gets the Gnar in as well, and nice disengage coming out from Rapier. Pushing 13 Ghosts as well as Azura Veki back. LY4 joins that one with the Force Pulse as well. 13 Ghosts will be able to hop away from this one though, and it's going to be Jaeyoung from behind. We will see Jarvan come in. He has his Cataclysm available. There we go. He's going to lock down 2 members in that fight, and now Valkyrie joins the fight behind him. Jaeyoung coming up big here with that auto attack onto Valkyrie as well. They should have just disengaged from that fight. after the Dragon here. Jaeyoung might be coming up quite big. The ace and a hole is available, but unfortunately Jaeyoung does not have any mana to supply that bullet down the 90 caliber rifle, of course.
And look at how aggressive they're going. Oh man, Hallelujah shouldn't have stuck around that tower. And really, you have to feel or question why did LY4 actually use his Rift Walk in? I mean, yes, there were two, I'm going to put this word, trapped in parentheses, because both of them can hop out of the pit. And he decided to go back in, and his team, I think, as a whole, might have been scratching their head a little bit. Definitely, they got the Dragon, which was great and all. I mean, this is a team that wants to ramp up. They don't have the items yet in their favor. You can see Kassadin not yet having that Rod of Ages. They don't have the ability to really fight just yet, and KLH punished them for that.
Yeah, exactly. And Flavors, remember in the pregame, we talked about, or at least I mentioned, Dragon control should go to KLH.
Oh,
IG Legends here did a great job in moving on to the Dragon Pit, taking it down really cleanly with the help of their vision control at the area. However, they stayed way too long, and watch what happened. KLH here coming up big on the Dragon fight.
Again, it was just a very... it's almost as if IGL plays, you know, their competitive League of Legends like... kind of like part A, and then we worry about part B later. You know, they say the jungler right now has been doing a good job matching Hallelujah. You know, we need to be able to spot him out and take him, you know, take him out so that he doesn't cause any kind of problems for the mid, top, wherever he wants to go. We want this Jarvan off the map. They do so fantastically, you know, they snipe him out in mid, they go to Dragon. That's the part A, you know, down and pat. This
Free Dragon because no smite challenge.
That's right. And yet they still go for a fight.
Rapier though is gonna go down to Jaeyoung and his ace in a hole. Jaeyoung takes a little bit too much turret damage. The exhaust comes in. Nice turret juggling here. Caspiel might go down, however, because Rune is off to the side. They're gonna get the double kill onto Valkyrie. Valkyrie, Azaroveki is coming in. What are you doing there? And there we go, the counter kill coming out. Azaroveki might be getting a lot more. And Moon comes in with the Jarvan Cataclysm here. Double kill for Azaroveki, double kill for Valkyrie. They trade 2 for 2 in the bottom lane, or 3 for 2 actually in the bottom.
And you have to wonder why they kept walking forward. That was extremely strange. I mean, Azaroveki and Moon honestly weren't that far behind Rune. They should have been within vision range. In fact, I'm certain they were within vision range. Why didn't they just go back to their tower? I think there's a lot of disrespect coming in from here. We saw them jumping into the pit just really for minimal damage against those little annoying Yordos, annoying though they be. That cost them, you know, a huge team fight. And again, you got a few kills. Just be happy with that. I mean, you saw them chasing you down the river as well. What is going on with this IGL squad? I mean, we heard them shouting a lot in the previous game. Is this even more disrespect? No, perhaps just a bit of a bait. There comes the Mega Gnar though. It's really doing a number on both of them.
Yeah, Gnar in Mega Gnar form can take down 2v1, and Hallelujah is going down to Caspiel here as well. You talk about a Rage Bar and 13 ghosts here. I mean, IG Legends gave away that Gnar pick to Kuala Lumpur Hunters and picked in a late game scaling assassin here in the form of the Kassadin for LY4.
Yeah.
Like I said, not a fan of that pick. Has not completed the Rod of Ages in the 16-minute mark. That's going to be a very late stacking Rod of Ages.
And it just felt that IGL perhaps, you know, relaxed a little bit. Took too long of a deep breath to get back themselves into game number 2. I think game number 1 was long as it is. Rune does manage to pick up Jaeyoung, but it might be a trade back. No, oh, Playful Tricks already used. Will Valkyrie chase onto this? Leona's behind them though. Don't want to overchase this. We've seen how that turned out for IGL previously. And with their over-aggression and this time very miscalculated aggression, you have to say, KLH has jumped out to a 5,000 gold lead 17 minutes in. This is, I have to say it, Wolf, a very different IGL squad. Maybe because of the champions they picked, where the composition just has us scratching their heads. What exactly are they going to do with it? But they don't quite seem to have much of a game plan when it comes to, you know, other than, like I said, plan A. Do something honestly quite basic. Eliminate jungler, get the dragon. But what's this? You know, why are they over chasing? Why are they not even respecting the fact that the Gnar pick, extremely strong in the 4.21. We saw Kassadin staying way too long right there, having to drag Harley. He gets taken out because, well, Kassadin's way too low to commit to that fight or return to that fight. Just seems like a kind of out of sync squad. Very different from game number 1.
It is very different. I mean,
quieter too.
It is a lot quieter. I mean, like I said, the question was the win conditions for both these teams. KLH had really simple win conditions. Go into lane at least even, group up, take objectives, win team fights, take more objectives, close out the game.
Yeah.
IG Legends, I think, you know, we talk about the mobility, how they can use it, and so far it has just been, yes, they've been rather mobile and kind of collapsing onto objectives and trying to get those ganks out, but not successful at all because they have no damage on the team.
Yeah.
Not much damage, not no damage. I mean, Rune really packs a punch as LeBlanc, even with the 13th Unholy Grail. And of course, Lucian is just someone who just deals quite a bit of damage, and right now, Dragon Control, I do expect it to just steamroll in Kuala Lumpur Hunter's favor.
Yeah, and the problem we said about, you know, we've kind of been examining and putting IGL under the
Microscope.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we have time to cover this. Putting them under the microscope for, you know, quite a bit of scrutiny, and I think we can likewise say KLH, we've been fair to them as well. They weren't focusing the Kassadin, you know, they were basically letting him scale, and it's just ironic because IGL should have been happy with that. But instead what we see is that actually they go for this, again, very strange aggression coming out from this Kassadin that drags the rest of the team in, means Nar gets to get himself rolling that bit easier, and suddenly it's almost as if KLH is like, weren't you happy with what we were giving you?
Yeah, it's the momentum swing that we actually saw in that one dragon fight in which KLH got 4 kills of the dragon.
Yeah.
And now they tie it up 1-1. We've got a Meganar in the top lane that deals with LY4 perfectly. And now we've got a 4-man siege here, of course, coming in.
Yeah, and of course, those of you wondering, what exactly does Nar build? Because, I mean, even up to today, there's a lot of different builds coming out. You know a Nar is very strong when he has that Brutalizer in his kit, because obviously... oh, they actually do catch Rune!
Yeah, let's see if a fight's gonna break out here. Rune getting taken down right now by a Zoroveki. Valkyrie in quite a bit of trouble. The Chum the Waters isn't going to land. We will see the flash as well as Zenith Blade, and Hallelujah just barely surviving due to the heal from Valkyrie. Valkyrie coming out quite big here. They have definitely overdived this one. On the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters, it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade now. They just kind of tunnel visioned it onto Rune as well as Valkyrie and a low health Hallelujah. Yeah. This is not a team fight they're looking for. They want the wombo combos, and they're not layering it well this time, and this is why they lost that fight 2-1.
A little bit sloppy coming out from KLH. Then again, it was a nice pickup onto Rune, so you could say similar mistakes from both teams just with their positioning and over-aggression. But nevertheless, something that IGL must be aware of is the fact that the composition of KLH is just really going to be something that they will brute force in. We can see Caspio flashing in to land the Zenith Blade onto Valkyrie's Lucian, and it's just really, that is something that IGL must be ready for, and the Monsoon has to be absolutely spot on. I have to think Hallelujah might want to be a little bit tricky, perhaps kicking somebody further back towards his team once they dive in, and right then it didn't look like a very ready IGL. It just looked like KLH getting bashed up by the tower a little too much.
We talk about IGL being ready. The next 5 minutes will determine if IGL can snowball this to a huge advantage or not. Why do I say this? LY4 has just picked up a needlessly large rod after completing the Rod of Ages at about the 17-minute mark. Rune, after that death, very ballsily goes for the Magi Soul Stealer here. Wow. Starts off with 5 stacks, 1 stack away from being gold efficient. And there we go, man. Rune might be in a little bit of trouble here. If he dies, he's going to lose half its stacks, dropping it down to 2 here. And IGL now, this signals to me that they feel that they have hit their item power spikes, and there we go, Zoroveki taking down very low. And like I said, they feel that they've hit the item power spikes. They want to fight now. Snowball the LeBlanc, snowball the Kassadin, and snowball the Lucian, because these 3 champions can deal absurd amount of damage the moment they get those items.
That's right, and you know what, Wolf? If you don't have wave clear on your side, just keep the enemy at their own towers. Don't let yourself get pushed back to your own tower. Then again, 13 Ghosts as well as the rest of KOH seem to have a little bit of an answer of their own. They can let 13 Ghosts split push. He is strong enough to deal with 1, if not 2, maybe even 3 members on the side of IGL. So it's a nice move by IGL to say, let's get a push going before that really is punished by KLH, because they almost got to tier 2. Oh
Rune.
Man, Rune.
Oh, Rune.
Double distortion out.
Wow, that was a great double distortion into the flash. Jaeyoung might be charging up the ace in the hole here.
Oh,
Gets the Chum the Waters. And there we go, the ace in the hole coming out. Hallelujah with the quick feet and blocking that one. Oh, that was a lot of Summoner's Burn. Rune needs to protect his stacks like a mummy protecting her baby.
That's right. I mean, that book is a very, very precious book indeed, and I don't think he's even gotten any stacks on it just yet, right? So he really wants to get that rolling. But Jae-young, man, very aggressive flash forward for him. Perhaps, again, we said some of those tendencies that he picked up, or has had really for the longest time.
Okay, they burned their first combo now. Will they go in with the next combo? The Gnar coming in. Whoa, there we go. The first one to go down will be Rapier. However, the ultimate from Gnar, aptly named Gnar, only lands onto one member though.
That's right. Janna definitely felt the full brunt of that angry Gnar.
Should have went in with the Jarvan Cataclysm.
And just look at how brave 13 Ghost is. Yes, he gets kicked back. That's what we were expecting from Hallelujah. But the team fight overall just looks to be much more clear-cut for KLH, unless Jae-young... Whoa. Think about like 2 HP there.
Yeah, 2 HP before the lifesteal coming out as well.
Ridiculous.
But like I said, IG Legends here, really ballsy, trying to snowball their champions. That fight did not go in their favor, however, they kind of just mitigated most of the worst that could happen was kind of avoided there. The worst situation was avoided.
But I do want to say that the preparation for KOH in dealing with this rather mind-boggling composition, if you want to say there's any kind of preparation you can do against these kind of compositions, it's not very well done.
It's not.
Kassadin is jumping in to use his Force Pulse, and there's no response.
They're not
ever.
punishing it.
Exactly.
Like I said, they need to use their abilities to the full effect. They did not layer the Chum... Okay, they tried to layer the Chum the Waters as well as the Solar Flare. Great, that's a great combination. However, Moon had his Cataclysm up, I believe, in that one fight. And they definitely could have used that the Narvan combination.
I mean,
look at this. Like we predicted, Dragon Control goes to KLH easily.
There's no way this IGL competition can get anywhere near kind of these set pieces.
As long as 2 of the main ultimates are up.
Yeah.
Between Fizz, Leona, Jarvan, as well as Gnar.
I mean,
they're not getting it onto Dragon.
Really would like to see when Kassadin jumps in, either the Cataclysm onto him, because that cooldown is massive right now, as is the mana cost, or even the Fish, because that really puts... Oh man, look at that. Harash is going in. Zoraveki has the backup of his team though, so is able to go in for that kind of aggression. But really, if you put the Chum of the Waters onto LY4's Kassadin once he jumps in, what's he going to do? He can't go back to his team to drag the Fish there. And then you're able to solo him out. I mean, Hallelujah did have a nice kick once 13 Ghost was trying to land some of his Mega Gnar melee skills. But you could see that really didn't work out anyways. So
Valkyrie needs to be careful here. The Gnar can easily take down a Lucian.
Definitely, for sure. So really, KLH, so many options to them. Whereas IGL, again, with this composition, I mean, we ourselves are working hard to think of the options they can have. In the heat of the battle, we'll have to see what they do.
Nice Gnar coming in. 13 Ghost needs to use those abilities as fast as possible. They're going to reset here onto Rapier. Rapier goes down with the Chum the Waters. Caspiel jumps back in, flashes right out of there. We see the challenging spike coming out to Caspiel. Rune jumps right in. LY4 picks up a kill onto Caspiel. Azoraveki gets kicked right back. Moon now jumping in. 13 Ghost trying to charge up the Mega Gnar here. They're going to trade 1 for 1. Support for support. Rune now trying to get a few kills onto himself. Of course, he has 7 stacks of the Magi Soul Sealer. Hallelujah. Will be recalling. Trade 1 for 1, of course.
Yeah, and definitely unfortunate for Ozoraveki and the rest of KOH. I do believe he was aiming the Chum of the Waters at LY4's Kassadin after the ultimate was used, the Rift Walk was used. So that is the right move. We were just talking about that. But was body blocked very manly by Rapier, who himself didn't too much enjoy that ultimate being taken as he got absolutely soloed out. But importantly, IGL retained the control of their tier 2. They do manage to keep that alive. They did, of course, give over the dragon.
Lose the top as well.
Top tier 2 did go down. Mid, I would argue, if that fish had landed onto LY4, would easily have been KLH's. KLH themselves, not all too crisp with their play. We saw Caspiel going in with the Zenith Blade while the rest of the team was pulling away, had to flash out. I mean, it is the second game of the series. I would say both teams have warmed up a little bit, but errors here and there will mean that, hey, with only about a 4,000 gold lead, if IGL somehow managed to work around the fact that KLH hasn't really punished their very interesting forms of engage with Kassadin, well, these guys are going to scale into the late game, you know?
Yeah, we talk about the teamwork and the team fight coming out from the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They need to execute, I wouldn't say a flawless team fight, but at least go with their wombo combos. we talk about how Cataclysm, the Narvan combo. Go for the Narvan combo. I have not seen the Narvan combo just yet. Cataclysm is a terrain. Knock the men
Narvan's just
into the terrain.
Narvan's just not in the Singapore, Malaysia region, man. He's out of town. It should be not where's Waldo, it should be where's Narvan.
Yeah, where is Narvan indeed? And then we got Chum the Flares. I'm just gonna call it Chum the Flares. That's a
Are
great.
you speaking Vietnamese now? What?
No.
Chum the Flares? It sounds like Chum Dude, which is shut down in Vietnamese by the way, guys.
Well,
so.
like Chum the Waters and Solar Flare coming in.
Chum the Flare, got it.
Yeah,
Got
Chum
it.
the Flare.
There's just so many permutations. Definitely KLH, perhaps thinking that
Solar Waters, I don't know, but yeah, like I said, KLH.
Solar Water Power is the new power on the block, guys. And you have to say, every time IGL survives a team fight or finds even one back, the champions are scaling.
They are.
And you know, we can tell live here as well, and we do thank, of course, our audience members for joining us live here at the Boogies Plus Stadium. Well, the IGL team is a little more vocal now. I think they might have gotten some confidence under their belt.
They may have, or are they panicking right now?
Could be both. Could be both. But we do see, of course, that KLH has not quite, I think, forced them into the panic corner just yet, right? I mean,
At least for now.
yeah, LY4 as well as Rune. I think Rune a little bit more has been punished for using his distortion in, but LY4 so far has been getting off scot-free for using his Rift Walks in. Don't think that KLH will let that go on for too much longer, and I think LY4 has rightly sensed that as well, since he has stopped Rift Walking forward, which begs the question, if IGL ever wants to engage, it must come from Lee Sin or really the distortion.
It's gonna be
or the
really
casting.
difficult. Like I said, I mean, they have two options. Honestly, right now, IGL has two options when it comes to team fights. Burst down Kuala Lumpur Hunters before they can use their skills, or bait out the skills, dodge it out, and then re-engage after the disengage comes out from Rapier. That is the only two options.
And the problem now is, Wolf, with the Zhonya's being picked up on the side of Azoroveki, yeah, the person that you could potentially burst on. Look at this, 13 Coach just doesn't care about the cast, and he doesn't have to. He's got that blade of that.
Is the Randuins, he's the Yo moves.
Very, very fed. But the point is, they can really only do that, burst one person down on the side of KOH with Jaeyoung. And he's so safe on the Caitlyn, you know, he's very, very far back. And even if you somehow manage to get him, you're leaving the carries of Nar as well as Fizz.
You're leaving the Narvan combo up, you're leaving the, I don't know, Solar Water.
Solar Waters combo.
Chum the Flare.
Caitlyn's just the bait in this game, man. It's like, yeah, go for Caitlyn. You know, then we'll unleash our massive combo onto you. As of now, holding patterns for IGL, whereas for KLH, they have the Dragon Slayer skins for KLH in this game, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right here. Dragon's gonna get taken time and time again because they have the Wombo combo. The Wombo combo team always gets the Dragon objectives.
You know, to their
Almost
credit,
always.
IGL, with their really, you know, kind of cobbled together team composition, 4 towers to their name. And whereas the Wombo combo team composition from KLH, or really just a more straightforward composition, 5 only, so here they go.
Chum the Waters coming out, creates a large zone. 13 Ghosts here, comes in with the Mega Gnar, of course. Should have opened with Caspiel.
Okay.
Dodging that one out as well. So, okay, this is go time. This is go time. And there we see IGL jumping right in. The Gnar combo does not come up big here. 1 kill is going to go on to, of course, KLH here. They're going to return the kill by Moon now. Both junglers going down. They will get a knock-up onto Jaeyoung, interrupting the ace in the hole, of course. Caspiel gets taken out. Azoroveki looking for blood here onto Rapier. Finds it. LY4 on the chase against Jaeyoung. It is going to be the Rapier, not Rapier battle. It's going to be Valkyrie getting taken down. Double kill come out from Azoroveki. LY4 needs to run away from this one as well. It was go time, however, like I said, don't have the damage just yet.
No. And the crazy thing about that was KLH was pretty much fighting that battle at 25% strength. They had used Solar Flare, they had used Chum the Waters. They weren't strong at all, and yet they still come out ahead. This should be very scary for IGL. Yes, we have to give them credit. It was indeed go time for them, with many of the huge ultimates being blown.
They could have waited for Gnar to get his Rage Meter down, though. That was the one thing that they could have waited for.
Yeah,
as well.
I think it was just a little bit of, again, that...
They saw 2 ultimates come out,
that
they wanted
realization,
to go.
we want to go now, right? We really want to go now, but they're behind. They really are behind. Jaeyoung did a good job surviving long enough to actually drag them all the way back to Azoroveki for the cleanup, and it really just shows how far ahead this Gnar is. He
But-
can
but
just
like-
last the whole fight.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, the two options. They opted for option number 2. That was a reactive call. And sometimes reactive calls may not be the best calls.
Sure. No, I fully agree. I think that really the teams that really want to push themselves strategically, you know,
They need, to
closing
be,
out games.
they need to be more proactive.
Yeah, they need to be the ones saying, this is the action we're going to take. Let's see how you deal with it. Because, I mean, a strategy that says, I'm going
Let's
to deal
wait.
with what you throw at me is kind of what we were saying KLH was doing in the previous game. And
Yeah.
they just didn't do it well even, right? I mean, they knew what was going to be coming their way. Our AD carry's going to get dive. We're going to deal with it. And look how that, you know, game plan really worked out for them. It didn't. So, same for IGL. Yes, they tried to collapse when ultimates were down, but I don't really think that that's really going to bring them that, again, that bright blue victory screen. That's possibly just going to delay the inevitable. Yes, they're a little more vocal now. I think they have a little more confidence to perhaps get some aggression, get some items in their favor as well if they want to carry out such aggression. But as of now, KLH know they're in the driver's seat. They dictate the pace of this game. They dictate the aggression, and it's just IGL reacting to it all.
56.5 thousand gold compared to 49 here. This is just 7,000.5 thousand gold that KLH has ahead of IG Legends here. However, we have to talk about this time and time again as the clock starts to tick. It is IG Legends that have the better scaling team comp in the late game. The wombo combo will lose its effectiveness in the next few minutes or so.
And it's hard to argue that though, because they have some monsters that go into the late game as well.
They do. Gnar is one that can run into the late game. So is Fizz and Caitlyn.
Yeah, that's right. And on the side of, you know, oh, what? So, Solar Flare was just used. That one we will just mention for the sake of documentary and not really for any kind of highlight play whatsoever.
That could be a highlight. You know, there's the channel called Top Fails.
Oh man, that's harsh, bro. But it was really on nobody. So hey, sometimes the truth is harsh, but maybe Caspio's daring them. Like, you know what? We won you last time with 2 ultimates down. Maybe you'd like to
I'm
try
gonna give
your
you a
luck.
freebie.
Yeah, try your luck with 1 down.
Yeah. You get a freebie here. LI for on split push duty. You actually you make a good point, Flavors. Come to the late game. Is IGL's team comp really stronger than KLH? I think not. And I don't know, are they gonna start being mobile and avoiding team fights here? Are they gonna start just completely avoiding team fights, kiting backwards as much as possible, trying to go for the split push, trying to go for the 1-3-1, go for those, you know, disengages with the Janna, Lucian and Lee Sin, and then the LeBlanc and Cassidy tries to be as mobile as possible? I don't know. Is that their plan?
You know, that might be a possibility, but more...
But it's not a win condition, you
Yes,
see.
more compelling, I would say, on the side of KLH, because
Yeah.
we keep putting IGL under the microscope really because just of the way they put together this composition. But KLH on their side, we talk about very clear-cut win conditions. Why are they not executing? You know, we can criticize IGL for not really having win conditions. Hey, KLH, buddy, you've got a bunch of win conditions. Why aren't you executing? I mean, just getting Caitlyn to tower. We talk about the wave clear that can come out from IGL. Now that LeBlanc and Cassidy have their items, yeah, they can actually contribute to wave clear somewhat, but they have to use their abilities in. And that means that if the Rift Walk's used, the Force Pulse is used, the Distortion is used, you can position very aggressively. I'm not saying you have to dive.
You
but
don't have to
create
dive.
the space for Caitlyn to take the tower.
Yes. In addition to that, we talk about a split push potential coming from IG Legends. This is going to be the 4th dragon buff for Kuala Lumpur. It's going to be big.
IGL just is like, is there a dragon in this game, guys? I don't remember anymore.
Let's go back to the split push potential. I singled out LY4 as well as Rune for split push. They can do it. I mean, hypothetically, they can do it. However, Azura, Veki, and 13 Ghosts are more than enough to deal with this split push.
That's right. So, 4 dragons now in favor of Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
I just realized that
yeah,
the UI has not updated.
Whoa, okay, they really want to go for this.
Wow. Azura Veki is going to get taken down here. That is the pick that they are looking for. And 13 Ghosts teleporting in without Mega Gnar is going to be huge here. Will Hallelujah follow up the Resonating Strike? Yes, he does. He does get stunned up, though. And there we go. Going to back up from this one. Great solo kill coming out from IG Legends.
You know, that happened so quickly, but I dare say it was because Azura Veki used his Playful Trickster to wave clear.
Yep.
So, I mean, if anything, with this composition, IGLs are saying, well, we've got a whole bunch of chase in our pocket. if you ever use your escape or disengage on minions, we're gonna go for you. Are they gonna go for more though? They need to make up their mind.
They're gonna wait for 13 Ghosts' rage bar to finish off. They're gonna collapse right here, right now.
Alright, it will be a 5-on-4 collapse. Ozoroveki will be respawning, but he's in base. They've got them corralled in their own jungle, but not quite the vision necessary to do anything about it. Oh man.
We've got Rapier, of course, with the speed boost. That's going to match the Dragon buff as well. LY4 coming in with the force bounce, jumping right into the middle of the fight. Has the Zonia's triple knockup here. However, it is going to be Rune that gets taken out before Jaeyoung does as well. Hallelujah coming out big here.
Oh,
13 goes coming back in. It's going to be Ozoroveki joining the fight right now. Caspio goes down. 13 goes is so extremely tanky. Gets the wall up onto LY4. Ozoroveki with the cleanup right now. Jump the waters onto Hallelujah. They're going to turn this around. It's going to be a 4-for-2 exchange in favor of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, of course.
Ridiculously strong Gnar on Summoner's Rift right now. 4-0-11. He extended that team fight for Ozoroveki to rejoin. And honestly, I dare say even if Ozoroveki didn't rejoin, that Gnar would have been impossible to deal with the remaining members on the side of IGL. And IGL definitely showing us a very gutsy way to play, you know, Summoner's Rift right now. League of Legends.
Those are the two ways you can play, and or 3 ways.
Man.
We talk about the split push potential. However, KLH has the answers to that. We talk about engaging, killing Ozoroveki off, killing someone off before they can use their ultimates. They tried that already. It failed because, you know, the rest of the team coming up here for KLH couldn't really deal with the damage that was still being outputted by the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They even tried the third method that I talked about. Wait for them to blow their cooldowns, some of their cooldowns, go back into the fight, and they still couldn't deal with the ultimates that was available for the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
And I do think with the Baron in their favor, KLH will be looking to potentially close out this game right here. They have in their favor almost a 10,000 gold lead. And really, they've just got such a monstrous Gnar on their side right here. I would argue that they don't even need the combo in their favor to just wreck face, honestly. And we have to see right here, of course, how they pull it off, because I feel right now they don't even need the group S5. You know, we talk about split push and all those possibilities. With the Baron, you know, you could just have 3 superpower waves. It's
going to be just Ozoroveki and 13 goes split pushing with the Moon, Jaeyoung, as well as Caspio tri-lane in the middle. And that's all they need to do, honestly. That is really all they need to do. We've got the Elixir of Wrath, of course, hovering over onto Jaeyoung, and Ozoroveki with the Elixir of Sorcery.
Man, everybody's just so colorful right now.
They are extremely colorful. I like the new visual art actually on the Elixirs.
13 Ghosts is like, Elixirs, temporary power. He's all about the permanent power. I think that's a 6-item Gnar we have. My goodness, I believe that's the first time I've seen a 6-item Gnar in a competitive League of Legends game. Dragon in 2 minutes. I really don't think KLH will even pause for this. They have the Baron in their control. 4.21 patch that of course wears off a minute faster, so they really want to optimize this as much as possible. Seems like the holding plan for IGL right now is to let Kassadin split push, but I dare say they'll need all 5 members to defend against this very, very strong KLH squad. Looking to
talk about a wave clear, they don't have it. No Ziggs on the team. Rune here, of course, there we see 13 goes coming right on in.
Mega Gnar.
Mega Gnar is always the trigger, isn't it? It's like steroids. Man.
They almost locked down LY4, but importantly, they forced the Zhonya's, forced him out of the fight. That should be a very clean inhibitor.
Just chum the waters down. That is Gnar down as well. I mean, Gnar meaning the ultimate. Gnar down.
I don't think Gnar down, dead down.
Not down, but Gnar. That's the name of his ultimate.
Indeed it is. Jaeyoung almost gets taken out though.
Look at that. Instantly healing and shielding Jaeyoung there. Caspio with the quick reflexes. Rune really trying to snipe out Jaeyoung, but was unable to do so, of course.
And with that 5v4 situation and the 5 members holding Baron, really does look like KLH is just barreling down for the second inhibitor. Might be able to just close out the game. Death timer is rather long, 42 minutes in. 40 seconds remaining onto Rune. There they go. Baron has worn off, so the minions aren't empowered. They aren't getting all too much damage down into the tower, but they have managed to perhaps catch Valkyrie out of position, has to flash away.
It's jumping right back into this one. 13 Ghosts is still this is the second time he's turned into Mega Gnar now. Oh, there we go. LY4 gets taken out by Jaeyoung. Moon jumping right in. Valkyrie actually doing some damage back onto Moon as well. Hallelujah is looking for an angle. Monsoon coming out to this one, jumping right in, kicks Jaeyoung
nice
back
kick.
into the fight. However, the turret goes out. Jaeyoung just gets closer to Nexus. It is going to be GG for the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
All right, so yet another around 42 minute game, excuse me, and really it did take both of these teams quite some time to close out this series, and I call it a series even though it's just 2 games because it felt like it.
Yeah.
Definitely both teams having clear leads but not closing out as decisively, although we could argue for KLH in the second game. Definitely a lot more controlled than I think we saw in IGL.
We saw how the team compositions actually worked in their favor here. In game number 1, it was a little bit of a messy team composition, no damage coming out outside of Zoroveki on Ziggs as well as Vayne. Game number 2, however, it was really ISG Legends here. I'm not understanding their team composition at all. And KLH coming out with big wombo combos in form of the Narvan,